What's your thought?
The biggest thing for me, I think, was using the muscles groups and actually beginning to feel the emotion just by using the muscle. You know, and then from there using the triggers to create it more intensely or taking it back.
Or
that was something
justifying
I'd never really explored before, and it makes so much sense to me. This whole course, it speaks to me. It's something I understand, and I feel like I can go back and really take this and make it work for me.
Cool. And we can just talk to each other. I mean, in this kind of hearing, you can talk to me out of this record, so we know. I don't want to use it for like a sales pitch on that. So I want to be uncomfortable. I just want to just kind of share because it goes, yes, that works. Let me make sure I bring that. It makes me a better teacher. You know, if I know what you got from it, and I know that works, and then you're going, yeah, I got that, and also I got this, then I know what I'm doing, you know, is working and it's clear. But if it's not clear, I need to know that too.
I like the feedback, and for some reason, wait.
Yeah, so you like the feedback?
I like the feedback from you. For some reason, when I see your face doing it, it kind of helps me. I feel like I'm imitating your face, and that kind of helps me get to the muscle. So seeing like even the book, well, the expressions in full surprise, and you know, the fact that you do it so much and get feedback helps a lot. And also, it should never occur to me that all these muscles could actually do their own thing, you know, in the middle.
Some people's faces talk a little, some a lot, some people's faces never shut up. For you too, you came in and there was very little movement, you know, so I want you, even when we tried to access in the very beginning, there was very little, and then, you know, so what you came up at the end here, I think you gotta be proud of yourself.
I am proud of myself.
That's good, though. Well, I'm proud of you too.
Because I'm not one who really expresses a whole lot. I also grew up where it's like, you know, my father's one opinion all the time, listen to him all the time, you know, and so, and I don't like to cry in public either, so I feel like I've grown a whole lot as well in my emotional repertoire.
Cool. That's very cool. You want to come on over? You want to come over? You want to work this? Can you come on over and join us?
It, yes.
Yeah.
Work it.
Work it. Cool.
The biggest thing that stuck out in my mind, I know I've taken away a lot, but one of the biggest things is making sure you have the appropriate trigger to make your response make sense in the scenario. And because not only is it about, when we first started talking, I honestly thought it was just like, oh, if I get these, how she was talking about these muscles right, then I can just go to it every time and that's all I need. But it is a process, but it's a process that works, like we've seen. If you have the appropriate trigger and you know what muscles are supposed to be enacted, that's how you make it work. So that was a really important thing, and I didn't catch it at first. I think when we first started talking about it, how important the trigger was to the process. That was the biggest takeaway. And then specifically when we did the sadness exercise, I told you earlier how that's the first time I've ever done not a scene, but ever tapped into that where I felt control over it. Because for me, I told you, it very easily bleeds over into hysteria, but I still got where I needed to be. Like, I did cry, but now I know if I go into pain before, you know, or go to anger, I can prevent myself and put that block up and stay in sadness. That's something that I hadn't been able to do before. Cool. So that was a really eye-opening thing for me and important.
Excellent. So you become the captain of your ship.
Yeah, exactly. Now I have control over it.
That's cool. Always just say you want that, and do you want that, you know, to develop quickly or slowly?
Right.
Yeah, I can do it. Do you want it on one leg? You want it, you know, it doesn't really matter. Cool. You guys have any thoughts about your ahas over the weekend?
You already recorded me.
Well, I haven't got you on camera though. Don't you want to be on camera? No, I mean, okay, so forget about everything you said before. That was cool. But, and again, this is about you personally. Did you learn anything about you doing this? Did you learn about how you express? Did you find anything that of control or of anything that would go, oh, that was easier to access it that way?
I'm really bad at answering questions like this.
Cool. All right, that's cool. That's fine.
I'm just the kind of guy that does it, and if it doesn't look good, I do it a different way.
Okay.
I don't really analyze.
Cool.
I don't know.
Cool. All right. Anybody else? Austin?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got you. Well, basically, this class, I mean, everything I read for is just on looks, headshots, massage, everything else. But after this weekend, I really feel like we will be able to tap more into other characters now and really bring everything to a whole nother level. Because not just on the looks now, like I know how to bring the actual story itself alive in my face.
Mm-hmm.
With the little things that I never knew that would make such a big difference before,
Mhm.
that I thought I was doing, now I know how to actually do them.
Uh-huh.
So I'm ready to start using them.
I see you now in comedy. You know, I mean, you know, doing more comedy stuff and all those reactions, and I think developing. You have that one side right now. You're selling. You're trying to get yourself in there, but I think if you keep going, there's the reactions. I think they were pretty funny. You know, and so I think that keep working in that level. I think that direction as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Cool.
I thought of something.
What's that, Steve?
It'd probably be really good for a director to take a class like this,
Mm-hmm.
so they can explain to their actors or photographers,
Mm-hmm.
so they can explain to their subjects exactly what they're trying to get out of them, and not just give them the thanks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've had over the years, I had, several directors. And, I remember the one comment came out going, if the actors came in and did what everybody did just now, I said, I wouldn't know who to choose. It was that was so right on, so I could, and I worked with them for a couple of weeks, working with him as far as how he can get more out of the actors and a way of talking. Because you guys you speak the language, and if a director speaks the language, then it's going to be like really easy. I just need a little questioning surprise, or I need just a little excitement from you. And and you guys, okay, I can get that. I know what that is. But when you talk to somebody else, they go, okay, well, let me do it the same way, and that's not it. So the fact that he knows and he can tap into it himself, like you're saying, it was easier when I felt it and see it that I could begin to get in touch with him. And so that's one way.
I learned by watching an example.
Yeah, but you can be talking to somebody and you're talking about that heartbreak, and you bring that in, and, and you watch their face and you get them to see what's changing, and if you have to, just encourage them to move something a little bit more. You feel where it's coming in when you make that, oh, yeah. Feel what that feels like? That's what I'm talking about. And so you can actually guide the actor to the experience, and that's what I want. And even though they go off, they probably won't forget it, but if you make some point on just even touching that place, feel it up there? So some actors think you're crazy, but at the same time, it's either that or I gotta fire you. Yeah. I feel really bad about that. Do you get my sadness now? Cool.
I'm going to be really aware of what my face is doing now, because
And I love the brow up now too.
that was one of those obvious things that it just happens,
Mhm.
and unless you know what you're looking for, you're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know why a person is such a good actor
Mm-hmm.
until you can notice and break it down. Oh, that's why he did that.
Yeah. So when you watch the actors now, first try to see their static face. Is there any emotion on it already? And say, okay, well, it already has that. That's probably one of the reasons why he was right for this role. And then look for, once you have that baseline, now look for the changes when there's. Now we're not gonna have emotion on our face all the time. Why? Because emotions are reactions to things that are important to us. So they'll be most of the time going through the static face or the cognitive is thinking about something. But look for the moments where something important comes in, and you see where the freeze happens, and now they're managing, assessing, and trying to control it, or you see how it's beginning to leak. And the more you begin to identify, going, oh, that's why I moved, that's what's happening. Oh, that was really good. I felt that. And so the more you begin to identify, then now you're in a place to create the same thing. before when I showed you like Ray Fiennes, everybody's go, that's really good.
See, I haven't
You know what
seen
he's
that
doing.
one. Haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen it?
I wasn't here yesterday when you showed it.
No, it was at
it's
the
in
seminar.
The movie with Ray
There was a,
Fiennes.
there was a
Oh, is that
movie.
the one where's the angry guy?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
now. Okay.
So everybody, you know, got it, but didn't know what was happening with it.
Right.
Now if you go back, you go, oh, I can see the slight disgust he had that one moment. You can see the little bit of the reluctance with Brendan Gleeson and all of those things. There's so much more we haven't covered. Only so many hours.
Coming back so we can cover more, I hope.
Can you have like a session 2?
Yeah, there is. There's a possibility. I don't know about everybody's schedule, but there's a slight possibility of having a class next Saturday. That's my last weekend, just on during Saturday. I'm not sure. I got 4 people from the other class who want to do it, but it'd be a continuation from where we're continuing here, and then adding more. And everything's on camera time, so that's everything from now on. Will be doing it. I'm gonna have different things for you to work on.
Where is that going to be? Here? or-
Well, it depends. If Steve's going to be in it, then it might be here.
I think the
Am I
good
down
thing
here?
about this
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
also though is that aside from acting, just reading people in general, I think because I wasn't aware my face didn't have those reactions in it, now that I see people, because I couldn't read people either, now I'm
Ah.
going to start focusing also on observing and reading people so that I'm not, when you stop reacting to everything and you lose all your face muscles, I think you also lose recognizing that in other people too, if that
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So now I think I'll be better at reading, so I don't want to say I'm a victim, but or anything, but it's like I'll be able to tell when someone's being a bit more deceptive or a bit more joking about it, just by if their eyes here are wrinkled, I'll know they're joking or something.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see, you'll be, as your work start picking up the micro expressions. When somebody says, that they talk about now, something. You want to go to that restaurant? We can go if you want. But you see that's discussed, but they're saying we can go if you want. You go, you don't really want to go. Well, not really.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you want to see. I see too much.
One thing that I found funny, I noticed last night I was hyper aware of faces, and even my own, how you're talking about a static face. And I know that mine tends, we talk, to be like childlike and innocent. Well, I was dressed up and walking out, on Bourbon, and I got hit on like 40 times. And as soon as I realized, I was like, you know what? I bet I'm like, I thought about how how I looked like open and available. Because people in general, like, I'm the type of person that everybody, my teachers used to tell me their life stories because they thought I was their best friend.
Uh-huh.
And that's fine, but apparently I appear very open and available all the time, which when I'm walking down Bourbon and there's a bunch of drunk dudes, I don't want to be open and available. So I immediately like changed, like set my jaw, like narrowed my eyes and just like forged ahead.
Wow.
And like
Nobody
there are a
approached
couple
you.
like comments, but no one like approached me like trying to stop me. And so I was like, okay, well now I know. But I also, the reason I bring it up is because it's appropriate for an audition too. If I'm walking in for a role, like you said, he got it because his static face was this.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm aware that, I tend to have the,
Wide-eyed
sighted
and-
expression, wide-eyed when I'm walking in for another role, I know how to adjust that now, and just
So
slightly.
just as you're bringing it down, you
Just
look more
slightly,
determined,
yeah.
focused, authoritative, and the other one
Right.
is more, wow, what do you want to do?
Yeah, which is good because, like I said, I do get called in for a lot of younger roles, even 16-year-olds.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'd like to get some others as well. So that was a really good experience for me to do that, and then have it in a real world scenario work
Mhm.
in a test. It was just kind of cool to pull
Well,
away that.
That's one way.
be aware of the static face.
We do as guys, we do it all the time, right? You're in a situation you don't know. All of a sudden that brown's coming down. You keep it off, because you can't walk into a bar and go, oh shit. That was the biker bar. Oh shit. Now you gotta go. All right, let's get out of here. Cool. So, big changes from your static to here, big changes from there. So there is, everybody had like these, you know, very cool, I don't want you to lose your static shot, but I want you to feel the power of it.
Yeah.
You know? Is you don't have to say a word. There's that, really, you know, authoritative. The kind of, you know, deadpan, little bewildered, but at the same time, you can change that. Do you think I'm what?
Yeah.
So using it, and I think taking your static shot to read and go, how can I enhance it? How can I use it? And when you're not doing nothing, there's a disconnect in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just do nothing. You still have to have the focus, even though you're not doing anything out here. So that has to go along with. Does that make sense, everybody? Because your nothing is something. So the something has to be connected to whatever it is you're doing. So if I already have anger and disgust in my face, I got to have focus. And I know that what I need to do is to be determined to do something. I need to stay focused on that task, because the nothing then you won't be motivated to do anything. That's my kind of where I can lay back, get back, and say thank you. So the first one is Karen Clark. So you, Karen, for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you. With hard work.
You're gonna get a motion?
Oh, do we be able to do it? See that? Oh, come on up here a second.
Yeah.
Come
You
on,
gotta get
stand
back up.
there. And so now we just have a little bit of us here.
Yeah.
You want me to show you your certificate? There you go. Good. Then you get because the last class, take a picture. No, we'll take a picture of you. Thank you. All right, our next one coming up here will be Shally. Okay.
Woohoo!
Whoa. And congratulations. Good hard work. Thank you so much. That was yours.
Now you gotta turn around, cause you're giving me your back. Yay!
You got some? Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
I'm trying to get the real smile on there.
All right, our next one is Lauren. Yes.
Yay, Lauren!
Hard work, man. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
That was hard work. There you go. That's your certificate. What the certificate?
Espérate,
Sorry, again.
You don't want a picture with me?
There you go. Okay, well,
Go.
screen grab that.
It says here that you have understanding emotions, muscle group, interpretation, and nailing the reaction. There's also a audio tape on there. It's 45 minutes. And it's a long interpretation. But I think I stopped doing it because it's like 45 minutes of me talking nonstop about it. So I figured, listen to it, because you got the details of how I was beginning to interpret here. All right, so our next one, Mr. Steve Hammond. Hey.
Oh, hey, you can walk.
Hey, man.
It's a miracle.
He's been healed.
There's your. You got it.
Surprise! Yay!
All right. I wonder who's going to be next, Mr. Austin. Yeah, in service, man.
Come on, get over here.
Good job. Come on over here.
Oh, sad little bear.
Show me your diploma now.
Oh, okay. It's my first diploma.
And last is Jennifer.
Woohoo! Yay!
For yours, that's for you.
Thank you so
That's
much.
right. Thank you. Come on in, let's get a little, there we go.
Oh, loveliness.
What are you now?
I'll make sure of it. Okay, so.
We're going to give him a couple reactions here. And Giovanni, you're going to come on down here.
In a moment, I will.
Do we need to bring that camera down a little bit more?
No. I guess so. Over time. Okay, I got everybody.
That was a great reaction, guys.
Okay, I got everybody. Karen, can you move in just a tad? Perfect.
So you see everybody?
Okay, yeah. So I'm recording. Go ahead, John. Give them your.
Alright, so let's do the first one, a little bit of that right,
Browse up. See. There you go.
There you go.
Alright.
Let's do it again. Ready? And 1, 2, 3.
Cool.
Alright, so Giovanni, you coming over?
Well, do the reactions. and I'll
Okay,
pop
we can
in.
do it, all right, because then you're, if you're not in all the shots, then when every time I go to look for a shot, you're not in it. Come on in. So this one we're gonna do, let's do a little bit of the, when you want, get a chair. There, put that chair.
Okay, let's go.
Ready? And we're just gonna, there you go, good. And just give them a little pleasure and then this happy. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. And one last one of, do your thing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Surprise.
Wait, hats off, graduation! Woo! I love life!
Everybody was surprised and I was